Okay, I'm sick. It is midnight, but hey, let's get into it. 2023 was a depressing year for anime. Not in terms of quality, but every good anime that came out in 2023 was just depressing as hell. Attack on Titan, you saw 80% of humanity gone just because Eren wanted to be a good friend. In JJK, you saw Sukuna erase like thousands of people within a second as just a background effect of a fight he was having. In Vinland Saga, you saw a guy battling his post-traumatic stress, his depression, everything, all in the form of a hellscape dream. 2023 did not play any games. So when watching anime, it's hard to feel, kind of good, depending on the storylines you're absorbing. But if there is one standout one anime that did the job well, it is Magic and Muscle. This brand new anime that started last year has been one of my favorite animes to watch in recent memory. It is funny, it is highly entertaining, and when you watch it, you don't want to be entertained in that way. You're expecting maybe a little bit of a comical side, maybe a little bit of action, not that much. But this manages to blow away expectations, and that's what today's video is about. The banger second season intro has inspired me to get as much people to watch Magic and Muscle as possible. My name is Alama Grenadian, and please join me as we're going to be talking about Magic and Muscle and why you need to be watching it. So Magic and Muscle, or the full title, Mashle Magic and Muscle, debuted in 2022 as a manga written by Hajime Komoto. There is not much about him. He is a mystery. You only have this funny depiction of himself that he uses in interviews and online Q&As. He is a mystery, and let's just keep him that way. It makes it much more cooler. The only thing that we know about him is that he was just a normal guy working a normal job, but instead he decided to quit, pursue his passion of writing, and lo and behold, we got Magic and Muscle. And this thing blew up. I don't think anyone was expecting it to blow up as much as it did, but Magic and Muscle just connected in a way that I don't think many people were expecting for something so simple in premise, but yet executed so well. This is not the first type of magical manga that's hit the market. Obviously, you have stuff like Fairy Tail, Shield Hero. Even the one that's going to be compared to a lot is Black Clover. But something about it, the comedy, the way it just handles sensitive and dark stuff in the story, just makes it more approachable and more enjoyable to absorb, whether you're watching the first season or you're reading the manga, which I believe is finished now. But as soon as you watch this, you know straight away this is based on Harry Potter. This is so heavily based on Harry Potter. It is funny, but it sort of gives a homage. There's respect in the way that it treats the subject matter. It's based in a magical school, headed by a magical old guy who sorts people into houses to compete against each other, who are sorting these houses using a magical object. Like, the similarities go on and go on. Even in the current season, there's a guy who looks exactly like Harry Potter. Like, there is no escaping the similarities. But this is all done on purpose. I think it was a genius choice. They know that Harry Potter is such a recognizable IP. To then use that as sort of a homage and inspiration is a very genius tactic. In terms of, the more history behind it, I think it's recent in terms of, jokes made, in terms of audiences approaching. When you get an anime or a manga that's sort of written by someone older, they tend to gear their stuff towards that older crowd. Because this guy's fairly young, you can guess, most of his jokes, most of the plot is geared towards that younger audience. And I think that's a big reason. That's why this has made such an impact in the anime and manga landscape. The plot itself isn't very special. You've seen it many times, just in different forms. Mind Visionary is a top student that has survived and completed enough tasks to prove himself worthy. And these are, you could say, equivalent to like auras in Harry Potter. These are like equivalent to like pro heroes in My Hero. It's just another high level position that the main protagonist has to achieve. It's been done so many times in different stories, but yet it doesn't feel, stale and played out. It feels good. It feels like it fits the character and it fits the plot of the story. This society has markings on their face, right? 1 mark is good, 2 mark is better, 3 marks is exceptional. But it's rare to get a 3 marked individual. for non-magic users, they don't have anything, so they're looked as freaks, which is outside the norm. When you see markings on a person's face, the immediate stigma is, what's that? Why does he have something on his face? So to go into a society where markings are celebrated is very different and unique to the story. And I feel that this was done purposefully. Maybe it's a self-reflection, maybe it's to look at how people view appearances, but at the end of the day, it works. Now there's some obvious comparisons we need to make. It is very similar in terms of premise to Black Clover. The main protagonist of Black Clover is Asta. He has no magical abilities whatsoever, but yet he's striving to become the Wizard King, the strongest in the world. And yet there's almost a sort of mirror to One Punch Man, because Mash in the story is insanely strong. Like insanely strong. He solves everything with just brute strength. There's nothing this guy can't do. It's actually funny how he solves problems by just hitting it harder. For example, there was a moment where they had a screaming plot similar to the one in Harry Potter. Instead of using a spell, because he can't use magic, he just basically beats out and it goes silent. That's how things work in this anime. It is comedy and ridiculousness over realism, and I love it. In terms of the protagonist, Mash himself is quite possibly the slowest protagonist in shonen history. He is so lacking in intelligence. It is funny, but in all the right ways. I have never seen someone overheat himself just thinking about the simplest of concepts, the simplest of rules in this school. It is so funny to watch. Like the first episode, mind you, he rips the door off its hinges and tries to put it back on sideways. Sideways, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what he was thinking, but I can't explain it to you. He is just lacking in the intelligence department, and I think it suits him, because at the end of the day, he is just a gym bro. This guy works out whenever he can work out. If it's during fights, if it's before a fight, before bed, when he wakes up, before he eats breakfast, he's just working out. And I feel like that's an interesting way to show a protagonist, because in most shonen animes, that's what they do anyway. They do these epic training arcs, these arcs where they boost and they hit higher levels. But Mash has been doing this from day one, and it's just showing you a realistic training. That's it. It's none of this like fantastical, he had to fight this guy to get stronger. No, it's literally just dumbbell presses, weightlifting, squat thrust, jogging in the forest. It is just comedy in the form of exercise, and I know you all love the exercise. But because of this lack of intelligence he has, he is very straightforward. Like he only understands a little bit, and once he understands that little bit, he just goes ahead with it. There's no faffing about. If you say you will never beat me because of this, this, and this, he's like, okay, takes the middle path. He is someone who is direct and will tell you how it is. He doesn't care about feelings. He doesn't care if that doesn't make sense to you. He will just say it because he is so dumb. But overall, what makes him such a good protagonist is even though he puts himself into danger a lot of the times, he is willing to do what is right. He is willing to step on others that betray themselves in order to do what he feels is best. And as a protagonist, that is something that I can get behind and that I like. He is someone I want to root for, and I want to see him become what he wants to become. And because, again, of his lack of intelligence, the way he does things is so out of the box. He has to rethink things. He has to either do it very simply or overcomplicate it when it doesn't need to. Second season, I think first episode, he's given a task to light something on fire. How does he do it? He takes a wand, and on a frictionless stone floor, he causes enough speed to burn a candle on fire. That's it. It is straightforward but nonsensical and only achievable by this gym bro, and I love it. Also, he loves cream puffs. I don't know why he decided to add this quirk into the story, but he loves cream puffs. He can't get enough of these cream puffs. He eats them whenever he can. It is embarrassing, and it reminds me of me when it comes to any food. I love food. Food is for me, okay? If there was a type of magic where I can just use food, that would be me, the obese guy in the corner munching on food when everyone's just beating people up. But no anime or manga would be complete without its host of side characters. I'm just going to give you a few. The first one, his name is Finn. He's the token weak guy, the one that's shy and very antisocial and high with anxiety and unsure about himself until he meets the main protagonist and he starts to feel better. That's Finn for you. This guy, he is the one that you don't want to have in a fight, because he will just cry and moan, and it's just embarrassing. It's very embarrassing for all those involved. Then you have Dot. Dot is what I like to call the incel of Magic and Muscle. There's one other character, but him too. This guy is loud and proud, talk about how he should be the main character, how he's going to be the strongest, how everyone else is just background characters. Put him in front of a girl, he's silent. He don't know what to do. He is beside himself. He don't know how to act. He don't know how to retort. He is just a useless pile of ugh. It's embarrassing, but I like the guy anyway. Next we have Lance. Lance is the next weird one, and he falls into a category which I kind of like, at the same time I don't. He's a strong character, able to use like gravity magic, but he has a weird quirk in that he really loves his sister. Now it ties into his backstory, his tragic backstory, but it's just weird. I mean, I love my sisters, but not to the extent of this guy. It is just really creepy. In my defense, I just can't stand pervert characters. Sanji, Mineta, Master Roshi, I don't like them. Maybe for other people it's not as big as a deal, but I just don't like those type of characters. The last side character to mention, Lemon. If you've ever watched Chowder on Cartoon Network, this girl is Panini. She is obsessed with MASH. Obsessed. When she met his adoptive father, she introduced herself as future daughter-in-law. She is obsessed with MASH. No, don't get me wrong, he's a gym bro, I gotta love him. But Lemon, you need to do more than just be the token obsessed character. Come on bro, I like you, but do more. Now the fight scenes are epic. I love the fight scenes in this. I wasn't expecting great fight scenes in this, I don't know why, but they have surprised me in all the best ways. They are good quality, they're high paced, they are detailed, they are everything you want in a good fight scene, and every one of them concludes with MASH just absolutely beating the hell out of a powerful magic user. They are some of the best fights of the year. Look up MASH versus Abel. That is just an excellent fight. This guy, both good people involved, go all out, and it's just entertaining to watch a fight. I mean, we've seen like Gojo versus 1,000 transfigured humans. We've seen Sukuna versus Mahoraga. But you guys have not seen fight scenes. So you've seen a guy in tights fighting another guy in a metal mask who can increase his speed. I'm telling you guys, that is one of the fights of the year, in my opinion. JK, it's MASH versus Abel. I've already said it, it's a great ass fight. But the last and the main reason why I think you should watch Magic and Muscle is the comedy. The comedy never fails. It doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel old, tired, used, reused, recycled. It feels exactly how it's supposed to feel. Funny. It feels funny. You watch the scene, you just see the ridiculous nature of what just happened in front of your eyes, and you just go, that is funny. Episode maybe 3, he is completing an exam. Part of the exam is you have to unscramble the words using magic and then answer the questions. MASH can't use magic. What does he do? He scares the paper. He bangs hard on the table, shakes the earth. The paper goes, I feel you bro. He unjumbles the words for MASH, and MASH does the quiz. It is something to behold. Another comedy bit. This is in a fight scene as well. MASH versus Silver trashes the guy. Silver was being aided by a woman who likes to trick men, right? So she tries to put on the waterwork, says she was tricked into helping people. MASH doesn't bite. She comes up from behind her, suplexes her like it's WrestleMania. She was not expecting it, and she was out for the rest of the season. It was just an amazing scene. The comedy in this feels so refreshing. Again, 2023, depressing year in anime. But this type of comedy knows and it fits in just in the right places, and it's the standout reason why you should watch Magic and Muscle. I'll leave you guys on this. There are going to be animes that leave an imprint on your mind, that make you change the way you think about certain topics. For me, this isn't Magic and Muscle. It's not one of those ones. What Magic and Muscle does instead, it distracts the mind from the more serious topics, the more tragic, the more life-threatening, the more gut-wrenching. And it leaves you in this space of just familiarity and comfortability by just laughter and good fights. It's comfort. It's something that you go into that you know I'm about to have a good time. And at the end of the day, is that not what we're here for? Now, season 1 is out. We're in the middle of season 2. I should say the beginning. So please go and watch Magic and Muscle. You will not be disappointed. But that's all for me on the Loud Mouth Agent. I'm going to try to do more YouTube videos as much as I can. And please like, follow, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. Let's go. And as always, just keep it moving and I'll see you in the next one.
From this moment on, I'll show you the creation of the new world.